Good evening and welcome out to tonight's tackle trading onboarding webinar. This is Coach Frank here. I'll be taking you through the website this evening, showing you around a little bit, letting you know where things are, when they are, hopefully so you can get to know the tackle trading platform and us as well a little bit better. Before we kind of dive into the details, a couple things I would just like to bring up here at 8:30 Eastern tonight. So shortly, about an hour and a half from now, we will be doing a special webinar right here on our YouTube channel on the boomerang strategy. It's going to be really, really exciting. If you're not familiar with boomerangs, it's a great cash flowing strategy that we involve selling naked puts and writing covered calls. We are certainly cash flow traders here at Tackle Trading. At least that's certainly one of the things that we like about the markets. So if you are interested, be sure to come over and join us. It will be, of course, live at 8:30 Eastern. But if that is inconvenient, you can always catch the replay. But I would definitely check that out. It's going to be pretty exciting stuff. The boomerang strategy is really a fantastic strategy. A couple of other things. You will find the link to Trading Justice in the Trade Center. And when we look at that, I'll try to remember to show you where you can find that link, but it's just tradingjustice.com. Each week, the guys over at Trading Justice, Coach Tim, Coach Matt, and Coach Mark, put out the Trading Justice podcast. It's a very fun and informative podcast. You can listen to it right here on tradingjustice.com, or you can catch it on any of your favorite podcast providers. This past week was really fun. We brought the coaches of tackle trading on, and we did predictions for 2022. I don't know how accurate they are going to be, but it was sure a lot of fun. Definitely worth checking out. There's also a great monthly newsletter that you'll find over here at tradingjustice.com as well, which is a very good addition to your monthly routine. So that's each week for the Trading Justice podcast. And you will also find a link to the Huddle podcast, just kind of at the top of tackle trading. At the end of the week, just going to quickly go through the top 10 stories of the week from a market perspective, just to make sure everybody's kind of up to date with the week that was in the market. So you can find the Huddle podcast in that link. Again, just like the Trading Justice podcast, you can catch it on any of the major providers as well, or you can be like me and just listen to the podcast directly at tradingjustice.com or on the Huddle podcast website. I'm not much of a podcast guy, but I do enjoy catching both of those. So hopefully those podcasts can enhance your weekly routine, and hopefully you get a chance to enjoy the boomerang webinar here tonight at 8:30 Eastern. With all that said, let's kind of dive in a little bit and let's kind of break tackle trading down. I mean, at its core, all we really are is a group of traders that have come together to share ideas, help each other out, navigate the market together, right? And while nobody can make anybody else's trades for them, you can't make mine, I can't make yours, we can certainly bounce ideas off of one another. We can share setups with one another. If you've got a strategy that's working, I'm sure you're happy to share it with me, and vice versa. If you have a question, I'm certainly happy to answer it if I can. And if I can't, maybe I know somebody who can. So, I mean, it's really just a group of traders that have come together to help one another out. But as I'm explaining tackle trading, what I like to do is break it into three core parts, the things that you do on your own. That's going to be things like our tackle trading playbook, some of the tools that we'll look at in the trade center, our different courses, our blogs, basically things that you can kind of do on your own at your own speed and at your own comfort level. Then you got the things that you can do with others, aka the schedule, right? What are we doing? When are we doing it? Right? We're going to be, active with our community each and every market day. I'll walk you through that, let you know what what the schedule looks like. And then lastly, our weekend reports. At the end of the trading week, we all come together as a group of coaches in what we refer to as our scouting report meeting. And out of that meeting comes our tackle newsletter, our stock, options, and commodity reports, where we can highlight some different ideas for the team and our take on the broad market and the different sectors for our team that we can get delivered to them over the weekend. So that'll kind of be the angle that we come at it here tonight, breaking it into those three core areas. So let's kind of start with the things that you can do on your own. And we'll start with the courses. All of our pro members have access to a variety of our courses, our 7-step guide to trading, which is a great introduction course. If you're new to the markets, it's also a great introduction into kind of the, tackle trading approach to the markets. No two traders are exactly the same, but I do think, us at Tackle Trading, all of us, our community, the coaches alike, kind of share a general approach to the markets, from, taking that top-down analysis into choosing our strategies, working our watch list, planning, placing, managing trades, journaling the trades. So in some ways, it'll kind of give you a better idea of kind of the tackle trading approach to the markets. If you're a newer trader in particular, it can probably give you a little bit of direction and organization as well. Most new traders, and it's not really a knock on them, but they work hard, but maybe not the most efficient way to work because, well, if you've never done it, you've never done it, right? So hopefully you can get some ideas in there as well. Of course, as traders, charting is our friend, right? And that's true no matter what. That's true if you're a day trader, a swing trader, a position trader, a crypto trader, a cash flow trader, whatever kind of trader you are, you will be using technical analysis. So it's important that we build and continue to refine that skill set. We'll, of course, be talking charts, and more charts in that Technical Analysis 101 course. As far as I know, no one's ever proven to be 100% right on technical analysis. So there's always something to learn about charting. I think you'll learn a lot about charting in that Technical Analysis 101 course. Over in the options course, we're really going to focus on what's going on when you buy or sell that contract, right? We'll talk about the strategies in our playbook, but we're really going to focus on, what are the factors that are influencing the movement of that contract. I'm sure if you've ever traded options before, they can do some pretty wonky things, right? They move very, very quickly. They've got a lot of factors going on that stocks don't have to deal with when we're just trading the equity outright. And it's important to understand those things. I think the better we understand why that contract is doing the things it's doing, is going to make it a heck of a lot easier as we get into whatever option strategy that we are looking at. So we'll really talk about that side of the options world in that Options 101 course. If you've ever been interested in learning more about futures or Forex, those can be somewhat intimidating markets for some traders. Can be a great place to start to get a better idea of kind of what's going on over there. How does that leverage work? All of that fun stuff. So you at least have a better idea of what, those markets have to offer and whether or not it's something that you're interested in learning a little bit more about. Regardless of your skill set, of your trading style, I think it's very important that we all are very clear in having trading rules and systems in place that we can do over and over and over again, right? And I think everyone agrees with that at face value, but it is one thing to say it. And believe me, I know firsthand, it's another thing to do it, right? And so the system development course is really designed to get you thinking about your trading from a systematic perspective. It is really a fantastic course, whether you're new or a grizzled vet in the market. I cannot recommend it enough. I think it will really enhance your trading. I think everything is easier when we have clarities of rules and systems, and we just need to kind of train ourselves to approach the market that way. It can be easy to say and tough to do because it's our money, right? But it is nonetheless just as important, probably more important because it is our money, right? So the system development course, I would definitely encourage everybody to check out. You will notice we have a handful of premium systems as well. The Tackle 25 is a covered call-based system. We're just unveiling this year's edition of the Tackle 25 this week. Step system is our approach to swing trading the markets. The cash flow condors is another cash flow system, this time using credit spreads on the Russell 2000. Bear market survival guide, kind of exactly what it sounds like, kind of protecting our long-term assets from turns into bearish market conditions and then dealing with those conditions if and when we get into them. All of these are standalone systems. It's a one-time purchase. The system is yours for life. If you would like more information on any of those systems, you'll be able to find it over in the store. You're also more than welcome to send us an email to team@tackletrading.com, and we'd be happy to get you some information. Those systems are fantastic. We also each month get together with members of each of those different teams in a mastermind group where we just talk about the concepts and apply them in the current market conditions. We invite all of our pro members, whether you purchase the system or not. We invite all of our pro members to join in on those discussions as well. Not everything's going to need to be a course. We do regular blog content, both in written and video form. It's a great way to be able to, bounce ideas around with the team, answer questions that members of our team might be running into, whether it's more charting and tales of a technician, more on options in the option theory blog, working with Coach M and our awesome female traders in the Women in Trading blog, hearing from Coach Greg over in the Rookie Corner and taking concepts kind of from the ground up. Just another way to reach out to the community, to bounce ideas around with our team. Definitely good additions to a weekly routine. Over in the Trade Center, you'll find a link to our clubhouse, which is kind of our own kind of personal social media type of a place where members of our team can just bounce ideas off of one another and just talk some trading. Find a link to our trading glossary, a link to our trading journals, as well as a link to the Tackle Trading Playbook. In the Tackle Trading Playbook, you will find all of our strategies and the rules for those strategies. We break our playbook down into 3 core components based off of the option Greeks: Delta, Theta, and Vega. Delta is directional trading, right? D for direction. So that would be buying stock, but that'd also be buying calls and puts, doing debit spreads, doing calendar spreads, basically movement-based strategies. I think the stock's going from 90 to 100 or from 45 to 40, right? Now you can have the Theta playbook or our cash flow playbook, T for time. This is where we're selling those options. This is where that boomerang strategy is going to come into play, whether it's selling, naked puts, covered calls, credit spreads, iron condors, basically bringing in that premium and taking advantage of the one guarantee, which is time, right? Time is going to pass. It is going to be Tuesday night, 24 hours from now, right? So that's certainly a big, and a big cool thing about options is we can not just trade what's going to happen, but we can take advantage of the nature of time decay. And then you're going to have the Vega or the volatility playbook, where we are playing the expected volatility of the stock. We don't have a read on the direction. As we're getting into earnings season, I'm sure we've all seen some pretty wild things as a stock, hits or misses its earnings expectations. Maybe that stock has a history of doing that. And while there's no way that we can know if it's going to, be up or down this particular quarter, maybe based off of the stock's history, we can say, it's a pretty good chance it's going to move a lot one way or the other. So this would be those type of strategies: straddles, strangles, etc. In all of these, you'll find a detailed video kind of going over, what the strategy is, why we would choose a strategy, how we would do it, the rules for the strategy. We'll be placing an example order on toss if you need some help using the Thinkorswim platform. There's also a little downloadable PDF, so you have easy access to the rules. Okay, how much time am I buying or selling? What's my delta rule, etc. So you have easy access to those rules. You will also notice that on all of these, there's somewhere between a 0 and a plus or a -3. And that's just kind of letting kind of where we see this strategy on the spectrum of 0 being flat neutral, 3 being very bullish, -3 being very bearish, right? Kind of the way I think about it is 0 is neutral, plus or -1 is slightly bullish or slightly bearish, 2 or -2 is moderately bullish or bearish, and then 3 or -3 is very bullish or very bearish. We always want to match the strategy to our read of the situation, right? If we think the stock's going to move quickly, we're probably going to choose a different way to trade it, as opposed to if we think it's going to slowly grind its way up, for just an easy example. So that is the Tackle Trading Playbook. We'll certainly keep you plenty busy. If you go directly into the Trade Center and just click on Trade Center, it'll bring you to a What's Up at Tackle Trading page. Kind of what's our next show. There's our boomerang webinar coming up here shortly. Our recent posts, where a recent tweet, a little watch list if you want to build a watch list out for you for yourself, so you don't have to log into your trading account if you just want to check things on your lunch break or something. If you want to do that, it's very, very simple. You just throw in your symbol here, say you want to add vet to your watch list. I'm just going to select it. I'm going to hit this plus button, and now it is added. If I decide I don't need BGS in my watch list anymore, I can just select them and hit that little minus button, and that will get rid of them. So just an easy way to be able to check, without having to log into your, brokerage account, since so many of us, do our charting directly through our brokers, whether it's Toss or what have you. There will be a replay or a live showing of one of our YouTube webinars. Typically, it'll be a replay of the Tackle Trading Halftime Report, but not always, of course. A little mini calendar of what's, coming up in the very near future here at Tackle Trading, where you are in any of the courses that you're taking, so you can pick right back up where you left off without having to spend 5 minutes figuring out exactly where you stepped away. So just kind of a bunch of different trader tools here on this page. In here, this is where you will find the link to tradingjustice.com. You can just go to tradingjustice.com, of course, but this link will take you directly to tradingjustice.com if you want to catch the podcast or the newsletter over there. You will find a link to the market Skyline. This is just where we have kind of all the stuff together in one place, all the big stuff, right? That's going to be, let's see if I can get there, our index charts, right? The futures for the S&P, the Dow, the NASDAQ, the Russell, Bitcoin, the VIX, the emerging market ETF, the major commodities, gold, silver, copper, crude, etc., the sector spider ETFs. These are all a big part of that top-down analysis, working, down throughout the market. And I think it's an important part of everybody's daily routine. Doesn't necessarily have to be on this page, but I do think, if we go through this routine on a daily basis, we will find more opportunities, better opportunities as trading candidates. So we just kind of wanted to get everything in one spot, right? Just to save some time. There's also a link to the FinViz heat maps. This will just bring you to finviz.com and the S&P 500 heat map for the day, so we can kind of see the visual of what the day looked like, right? What areas were in the green, what areas were in the red, is anything in particular standing out? Just another way to generate ideas. I mean, you can't trade off of a heat map, but you can certainly generate ideas. And while the default is set up on a one-day performance, there is some flexibility. You can look at the weekly, quarterly, monthly, yearly, fundamental ratio. So there's definitely some stuff that you can play around with over there on FinViz as well. You'll find a news aggregator. This is going to go through some of the bigger financial websites, MarketWatch, CNBC, The Times, Wall Street Journal, and really just kind of get all those headlines, drop down style for us, so I can easily scroll through, see if there's something that catches my attention and read that. If I don't want to read this story, whatever, right? I'm not going to read all of these. I want to read the ones that catch my attention. It's really just designed to save some time and some bouncing around and clicking. I mean, I could read all of these stories at these different websites, of course, but this is just another time saver that you'll find here in the Trade Center. You'll find a link to the economic calendar, so you can be aware of what's on the economic docket for the day or for the week that could impact your trading. Another link to our market reports, which you'll find in this drop down up here. We'll talk about in a little more detail shortly. You'll find a link to our search function, which is this magnifying glass, and it is a pretty smart search function. So if you're ever looking for something, there's a very good chance you'll be able to find it just by doing a quick search. If you can't, never hesitate to reach out to us. We'll be happy to find it for you. But a lot of times that can, there's a lot of information on a lot of different things. So if you're interested in covered calls or selling naked puts or bull call spreads, quick search can get you lots of discussions on that type of stuff. You'll find another link to our trading glossary, which again, you can catch on that drop down. A link to a chart if you ever find yourself in a situation where you need a chart and you're sitting here on Tackle Trading. A link to the compounding gains calculator to help remind us of the compounding power of money, as well as a link to our trade journals. Again, you can get the trade journals on the drop down of the Trade Center, but I always like to come in the way that we're doing right now, simply because this will take you to the tutorial. So if you need some help in figuring out those tackle trading spreadsheets for the journals, I know I did. I know a lot of people do, right? Some people are really, really good at spreadsheets, and some of us aren't. And it's okay either way. But if you need some help, the video will kind of walk you through that in here. We have 3 different journals. We have the trade journal, where we can, hey, what did I do? When did I do it? And it's going to track all of that information for me, so I can make targeted adjustments based off of what I'm experiencing in my trades. The theta research tool, so we can build and compare fairly different cash flow strategies. The portfolio journal to stay organized and on top of everything. If you're in the trade journals the way, here in the Trade Center, all you need to do is click on the tab for the journal you want, and your download will be right there for you. Again, you can catch it on the drop down as well. So that's going to kind of highlight some of the big things that you can kind of do on your own, whether it's courses, blogs. Hopefully I explained the tools, how to use that playbook, all of that fun stuff. Let's talk a little bit about the schedule now. I always kind of like to start on the day-to-day, right? So every market morning at 11 Eastern, we get together with the team in our traders lounge right here on Tackle Trading. If the market's open, so is the lounge. We're going to go for an hour, 11 a.m. Eastern. It's just a place where members of our team can come in and ask questions, share ideas, get help that they might need, whatever, whatever that means, right? And maybe you're struggling with a strategy. Maybe you've got a trade you're trying to manage, want to bounce some ideas around. Maybe you've got a trade setup you want to, get some other eyeballs on. Maybe you're struggling with daily routine. Maybe you just want to come in and listen. There's not a wrong way to use that Traders Lounge, but we certainly invite everyone to join us as often as they like. No questions are off limits in there, whether it's a brand new question or a very experienced question. All questions are welcome. There's no such thing as a bad question. So we're doing that every single market morning at 11 a.m. Eastern right here at Tackle Trading. Then shortly after that at 12:30, we're going to head over to our YouTube channel for the halftime report. That's that live looking at the market where you can go through what's going on in the market today, how is it impacting the charts, take that top-down approach, what's going on in the indexes, the sectors, the major commodities, stocks in the news, really to work through that daily routine. That's live each market day at 12:30 p.m. Eastern on our YouTube channel. Of course, being on YouTube once the stream is over, you can catch it directly on our channel as well. So every single day, whether it's, here at Tackle Trading in our lounge at 11 or over on our YouTube channel at 12:30, we will be working with the team and hopefully being able to help out as we're navigating these markets together. Then we're going to kind of have our evening slate. I would consider what I would consider the flagship show of Tackle Trading is the Coaches Show we do on Tuesday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. We're a couple days into the trading week. It's Tuesday night, so we can do a quick market skyline. Is anything particular standing out, whether from a bullish, bearish, or a neutral cash flowing type of perspective? So we can do a market skyline with the team, and it also allows us to take on topics that are pertinent to today's market. There's so much that we could talk about in trading, right? I mean, strategies, indicators, chart patterns, risk, reward, stop loss management, right? Entry techniques, daily routine, portfolio design. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. You can't really, talk about all those things all at once, right? The Coaches Show really allows us to take on one subject that's really, pertinent to today's market conditions and have an in-depth discussion on that subject with our team. That's on Tuesday nights at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. It is recorded and archived, so if you can't make it on Tuesday nights, if you need to catch the replay to watch it again, if you want to watch a previous episode on a subject that you find interesting on Sunday morning, easy to do. You'll find all of that there in that link. On Thursday nights at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, we do our Cash Flow Club. It's going to be a little more narrowly focused, as the name would suggest, on those cash flow strategies, right? Credit spreads, covered calls, naked puts, iron condors, building and managing those cash flow trades. Just like the Coaches Show, it's live at 8:30 on Thursdays is all, but it is also recorded and archived, so you can always catch the replay at a more convenient time if you need to do so. Typically on Monday night, we get together with one of our mastermind groups with the STEP system, the Tackle 25, etc. We're also, are not every single week, but fairly regularly do special webinars right here on our YouTube channel, such as the Boomerang webinar that we'll be doing here in about an hour. So we want just another way that we can hang out with the team and share ideas with the team. On Wednesday nights, we do a two for one on our YouTube channel at 7 Eastern on Wednesdays. We do our Trade Masters webinar. A couple of the coaches will come together with some different trade ideas, Delta and Theta trade ideas, share them with each other and with our community. Our community will vote in the chat whose ideas they like the most. And at the end of the show, someone is declared the trade master. It's a lot of fun. It's a great way to be able to, bounce ideas around, build up that midweek watch list, engage with other traders, the whole 9 yards. So that's live on our YouTube channel at 7 Eastern on Wednesdays. And then shortly after that, we're going to head back over here to Tackle Trading for our Wednesday night Traders Lounge. We do a Wednesday night lounge shortly after that Trade Masters webinar at 8:30 Eastern. Very similar to our morning trading lounges where folks can come in and get their questions answered and things like that. We're also just coming out of the Trade Masters webinar. So if folks have questions, need to go a little deeper in any of the ideas that were discussed in that webinar, we can happily do that as well. So if your schedule is such that you just are at work during, the morning and can't join the Traders Lounge, hopefully the evening lounge is a place where you can come in and get some help if and when you need to do so. So that's going to kind of be the default schedule. Kind of an overly simplified way to think about it is the morning lounges for your questions, members of our team. What do you want us to talk about? What do you need from us? Right. The halftime report is really all about that daily routine and staying on top of the market. And the evening shows where we can really kind of put on the teacher's hat a little bit, if you will, and kind of dive into these subjects a little more deeply. It is certainly an overly simplified way to think about it, but maybe it can help you kind of keep organized as you're getting to know us a little bit better. We do offer what we call trading labs. Coach Mark, Coach Emily, and Coach Tyler all have a trading lab. These are subscription products where you get together with members of that team each week, stay connected throughout the week on a private Discord channel. If you'd like some more information, I've heard great feedback on all of those trading labs. If you'd like some more information, you can find that in the store. We'd also be happy to get you set up with a free trial to see if that's something you would be interested in. But heard lots of great things and lots of great feedback from those trading labs. We have a tremendous team of female traders with us here at Tackle Trading. They get together about once a month in their Women in Trading Mastermind group. We'll be sure to promote it and highlight when it's coming up and all of that fun stuff. Fellas, we don't get to go that day, but if you are a woman in trading, or if you know a woman in trading, I would strongly encourage you to be on the lookout and hook up with the awesome ladies of Tackle Trading. I have no doubt they're having a lot of fun in there. I have no doubt they're getting a lot of good work done. I hear the feedback. I just don't get to go, which is perfectly fine. So something to keep in mind as well. So hopefully that kind of gives you a better idea. And in the events calendar, as you're getting to know us, if you come into this page, it'll kind of let you know, hey, what's going on today? When is it? Where's the link for it? If I need, to get the link to the Zoom room for the lounge tomorrow morning, or for the coaches show tomorrow night, or whatever the case might be, it is pretty handy. And you'll just find that, of course, right up here. All right, let's talk that third component now, and that's our weekend report. So as I mentioned at the beginning, we get together at as the market's winding down at the end of the week, typically Fridays, right? And especially now that we're out of the holidays, and talk markets, talk sectors, talk commodities, talk setups, and out of that meeting comes our reports that we do get delivered to our team members by Saturday afternoon. The Tackle newsletter is kind of a look ahead to the upcoming week in the market, kind of that top-down approach, right? And in my opinion, this is where we always want to start. So we'll do a quick, week that was, right? What happened last week? What were the storylines moving the market? What was the trading like? All of that fun stuff, just to make sure everybody's, up to speed on the week that was. Then kind of look ahead to next week, right? Talk about sectors, talk about the economic calendar. Of course, we'll have a video, going through this stuff with you. Talk about the broad markets, the S&P, the Dow, the NASDAQ, the Russell. ETFs, if you need them, are right here as well. You'll find the new highs versus new lows, as well as the advanced decliner to help us get a better idea of the internals of the market. Are we seeing, lots of selling, outside of the, huge names, or is it everybody participating, that type of stuff? We're going to be ranking the sectors each week. We break our sectors down into three core areas. Growth will be represented in blue. That's going to be technology, discretionary, and communications. Cyclical is going to be represented in yellow. That's going to be the financial space, industrials, basic materials, and energy. And then lastly, the defensive sectors, that's going to be healthcare, staples, real estate, and utilities. We're going to be ranking the sectors based off what we're seeing on the stocks that make up the sector spider ETFs. You'll find the sector spiders right here. If you aren't familiar with the sector spiders, I would like to take just a minute to talk about them because they're important. At least I think. What they do is they're just ETFs. The ETF provider's website is just sectorspdr.com if you want to go straight to the source, which is never a bad idea. What they do is they'll go into the S&P 500 and pull out stocks on a sector by sector basis. So here's discretionary. Great day in discretionary, right? Here's healthcare. Pullback going on broadly in healthcare today. Right. So it's going to go into the S&P. It's going to pull out just the stocks in these different sectors and put them into a portfolio. Because it's based off of the S&P, it's going to be weighted. Right. And you can find out kind of how that weighting looks at, directly over at sectorspdr.com if you're interested. We're not rating these based off of what does XLY look like. That's, I guess a slight consideration, but we're basing it off of the stocks that make up these indexes. That's how we're coming up with our rankings. Each and every week we'll be moving up, down, leaving the same based off of what we're seeing. As you can kind of see, we're going to put it on a football field here, and kind of between the 40s is more of a neutral type of territory on the sector. Between the 40 and 20s is where we're going to be slightly bullish or slightly bearish. Between the 20 and the goal lines, we're going to be bullish or bearish. We really aren't very aggressive as a community here at Tackle Trading, and it's extremely unlikely you're ever going to see us put an entire sector or market into plus or minus 3 territory. I mean, you never say never, but I mean, this is one of those cases where you almost want to. I don't think I ever will. I never have, and I seriously don't expect that I will ever do so, but you never know for sure. But it is very unlikely that you'll see us put an entire sector that aggressively. It's very normal to have a, plus or minus 3 bias on an individual stock, right? I like this Apple breakout. I'm really bullish on it or whatever. But the sector as a whole, that means pretty much all of these stocks have to be showing insane amounts of strength, all of them, right? Or insane amounts of weakness. And it's just, there's almost always somebody out, some outlier, right? So we'll talk you through kind of the thought process and things like that in the video portion of the newsletter. Here are those sector spider ETFs if you need them to add to a watch list or anything. And again, if you want to learn a little bit more about them, it's just the word sector, spdr.com, and that will take you directly to the ETF provider's website if you would like to check that out. At the end of the meeting, we talk about in our Tackle Rapid Fire newsletter, we basically just share our favorite bull and bear setups from, and we'll talk a little bit more about this. We get into the stock and the option report, but we just share our favorite setups of the week, kind of what we're looking for, what we kind of want to see for, triggers, for stop losses, targets, why we like that one the best. Fun way to end the meeting for sure. And our community does seem to enjoy that. If you are a pro member, I certainly invite you to join us over to the Team Tackle Discord. It's a great way to be able to communicate with team members throughout the days. It's very, easy in my opinion, and I'm bad at technology. I think it's fairly easy to pick up platform, at least to be able to talk with people. I still have, a few questions on it, but we'll get them figured out. But it's a really fun and awesome way to be able to connect with, the members of the team, other traders, other coaches. Always a fun way, and I certainly invite you to join us. You can find a link to that Discord, in the newsletter, in the stock option report. If you can't find a link and are trying to get in, just send us an email. We'll get you set up. No problem at all. In here, you're going to find just a friendly reminder to match the strategy to the situation, right? On a Monday night, of course I'm going to do that, right? But tomorrow at 11:27, when I'm looking at a particular chart, I might be thinking, I really want to sell a naked put, or I really want to do this. I really want to do that. We always want to make sure that we're doing the sensible thing, not just saying that we're looking to do the sensible thing, right? So just a friendly reminder is all. You're going to find a pre-built scanner in here as well of a list of trader-friendly stocks. So if a particular area has caught your attention, say you liked the move that you saw in energy today, just for fun, this is just going to bring you back to FinViz. I'm just going to hit this charts button right here. And this is going to bring a list of what I call trader-friendly stocks, in this case, in the energy sector. We have it for all of the different sectors. When I say trader-friendly, I mean plenty of liquidity, so very easy to trade shares. It's shortable, so if I'm looking to go short, I can do that. They're all optionable. Now, just because a stock has options doesn't mean those options are particularly liquid. Always want to make sure that we double check that, right? And if you don't know how to do that, you'll learn about that in that Options 101 course. If you've ever been stuck in an illiquid option, it's not any fun. We don't want to do it, right? And so I would say as a collective whole, these things are fair to trade with options, but they're definitely in every one of these, different sector scans. There's a handful of names that I wouldn't trade options on those. And if I wouldn't, you probably wouldn't either, because liquidity is just as important to you as it is to me and Coach Tyler and Coach M and Coach Tim, and the list goes on, right? But one way or another, whether it's through the equity or through options, I'm going to be able to put together a trade on something in here if I like it. Now, I would never try to build a trade off of these little tiny charts, but what I can kind of do is I can say, well, I can see BVN breaking out, for example, right? I know what kind of charts I like. I like that kind of a chart. Maybe it's worth taking a closer look at here this evening when I get a chance, right? Maybe you like what you're seeing on CHK, right? And so it's just an easy way to quickly go through a lot of stocks in a particular area, get some ideas. Okay, let's go take a closer look at MRO. Let's go take a closer look at Chevron and DVN, right? Maybe you like all three of those. Maybe you don't like any of them. That's okay either way. But just an easy way to find a lot of stuff, to look at a lot of charts very, very quickly, get some ideas, get them added to your watch list, go break them down. Sometimes you'll find some great trade ideas in there. Sometimes it'll look better from afar. Oh, it looked really good on this little tiny chart, but then when I looked at it on a, an actual chart, not so much. That'll happen for sure. You're going to find the all world kind of what's going on, in the, all world ETF, the emerging market ETF, the dollar index, as well as just kind of a final thought for the upcoming week. So that is the newsletter. It's basically first step of the 7-step guide to trading, right? Which is a core belief that we have here at Tackle Trading is you start at the top of the market and you work your way down. Then you're going to have your stock option commodity report. Coach Mark does our commodity report for us. He does a great job kind of highlighting what's going on in the world of commodities in gold, silver, right, copper, crude oil, etc., both technically and fundamentally, and really, as thematically as well. Does a great job keeping the team updated on the world of commodities. Even if you don't trade commodities via the futures exchange, there's a lot of great things that we can do through the equity market to take advantage of movement or stagnation, which is great. These can be great things for cash flow, in my opinion, at least. We can share those ideas as well within that commodity report. Coach Mark does a really good job making sure the team's up to speed on everything going on in those markets every week. Our stock and option report are going to be built fairly similar to one another in the sense of each week we want to make sure whether you're trading stock, options, or both, you have a good quality watch list going into the upcoming week in the market. So we're looking for good quality, swing trading type of setups, right? Whether it's little high base breakouts on Alcoa, longer term breakouts on AAP, reversal candidates on OI. We want to make sure that our team has a good quality watch list to work off of each week, whether they're trading stock or options. That's going to be the case in both the stock and the option report. In the stock report, many of these things are going to be probably perfectly comfortable to trade options with, but certainly not all. One of the reasons it might be in the stock report instead of the option report might simply be because the options just aren't very liquid. The stock's got plenty of liquidity, but the options just, for whatever reason, aren't there. It's no fun to get stuck in an illiquid contract. There's no reason to do it. So that might be why it's in the stock report, but it might not. It might be because of the price. It might be because of the pattern. It might be for a variety of reasons that it's here in the stock report. Whereas in the option report, everything in the option report, well, the technicals are going to be built the same way, right? Everything in the option report is going to be comfortable, at least from our perspective. All of the coaches here are comfortable trading options on that stock. Now, I think you should always check the liquidity to make sure you're comfortable. I think that's just a good habit to get into. But we, at least as a team of coaches, would be comfortable trading options on anything over in the option report. So there can be a little bit of gray area, right? If there's a candidate in the stock report, but you prefer to trade options, what's the harm in going and checking the option liquidity, seeing if there's something there? If there is, great. If there's not, no big deal, right? Trade the stock or find something else to trade, right? That's not the only thing in town. Conversely, if it's in the option report, you're going to be able to trade shares, so if you prefer to buy, to trade shares on a candidate in the watch list report, not a big deal. Maybe you want to do a covered call or something along those lines. But that is certainly a difference. And of course, the discussion that we're going to have in the video portion of the report. So, that's the watch list side of the report. So our team has quality trade candidates every week. We're going to, be talking, both in a write-up and in a video. And, in the option report, we're going to be talking, a lot more about strategy selection and stuff like that, right? In the stock report, we're going to be talking a lot more about, pure technicals and the process, because we're planning on using stock as the vehicle, as at least for the discussion purposes. So the videos, the discussion will be a little bit different for sure, as you can imagine. Hopefully I explained that very okay for you. There are a few things, as you notice on several pages, we embed these trading view charts into our platform. And I always like to take just a minute or two to show some of the big things that you can do, because I imagine what you'll likely do is take the candidates that you like and add them to your own watch list, right? You don't have to add any that you don't like. It's about what you like and not what you don't like. So if you don't like OI for whatever your reasons are, that's fine, right? There's nothing wrong with that. Maybe you really like NTR, maybe you really like Vet, or maybe you always hated Alcoa. I don't know, right? So, but it's perfectly normal to take the candidates that you like, put them into your own watch list. But at least the first kind of pass, you'll probably be doing it directly on Tactical Trading. And I always like to take a few seconds. I love these Trading View charts. It's my charting platform personally. I always like to show a few things that are really, really helpful. Your trend line tool is just going to be right here, right? So as we can kind of see here, we've got a little bit of a breakout type of a candidate on our hand, little double bottom going on, at least trying to go on here. So we can draw horizontal support or resistance. If applicable, we can draw the trend line as well. So that's your trend line tool. If we want to get rid of any of these things, we can just click it and hit the trash bin, click it, hit the trash bin, click it, hit the trash bin. If you want to add an indicator or two, that's just going to be right up here. Do keep in mind that this is not going to save. So if I leave this page, the ATR that I just added is not going to come back with me, right? So before you add a whole bunch of indicators, just be aware of that. Is all. To size the indicator, just hover your mouse over the kind of wall between the indicator and the volume, and then you can hold your left mouse button down and scrunch up or scrunch down as you need to. Using the ATR, I'm looking for the number. I don't need the line at all. So that's going to be your trend line tool. It's, of course, as you can clearly see, defaulted to candlesticks, but if for whatever reason you prefer bar charts, you can easily switch over there. It's defaulted to the daily time frame because, unless noted otherwise, these are swing candidates. The drop down, you can look at shorter term time frames, longer term time frames as well, but the default is set up on the daily chart here. This guy right here is where you can prep out a long or a short trade. So if I'm looking at these guys from a reversal perspective, so okay, well, I'm going to say, I'm not going to get super specific here, but let's just say I want to come in right above today's high. I'm just going to put it at 1239 just to give me a number to start with, right? So that would be my entry. Now, what it's going to do initially is going to show me what 1-to-1 risk to reward is going to look like, right? So if this, was the trade, my stop loss was here, my target was here, it'd be a 1-to-1 trade. Now, as swing traders, most of us follow the 2-to-1 rule, right? If I'm risking $1, I need $2 in potential profits to make the trade make sense. And this probably isn't where my target's going to be as a general rule, right? In this particular case, it's going to be pretty close. I look at no OI here and I say, okay, well, if we can break out, really kind of coming up into this old floor just short of 14 seems like a good target point to me. Maybe you don't agree, and that's okay. So that might be my target. And maybe I'm thinking, I like my stop loss a little bit below this base that we kind of put in last week. And I'm just zooming my mouse, scrolling it up so I can zoom in and zoom out. And you can kind of hold your mouse button down and wiggle it around so we can get it sized how we like to do so. But let's say I just want my stop loss a little bit below that base that we kind of put in last week. So if this was the trade I was setting up, I can clearly see that for every dollar I'm risking, I have a $2.17 profit potential. I know that's within my risk to reward parameters from a rules perspective, at least. So it really is going to help. Maybe you say, I don't like my stop loss there, Frank. I like using today's low for the stop loss. You can kind of see what that looks like. Maybe you think that, what, that's not high enough or it's too high. So you can really kind of save a lot of time on the math, visualize the trade. Oh, that's pretty tight on the stop loss. I better widen it out. Or that's a little ambitious on the target. Maybe I should, look for something else. So you can do that for both the long and the short, just depending on which way that you are going. There's lots of other fun things that you can do with these trading view charts as well, but hopefully that gives you some ideas, of quick, I think helpful things that I think everyone should know about it. And again, I just, hid the watch list by smacking this widget button. Now I'll smack it again, and I can come back into the watch list itself. So hopefully that gave you some ideas. At the end of the day, we want to make sure that whether you're trading stock, options, commodities, all of the above, whatever it is, you have some good quality watch list candidates. We can talk you through some ideas on these things in the video portion, but we want to make sure that our team has a good, clean watch list to work off of, each week, each month, however they're personally using these things. You can expect all of these delivered to you by Saturday afternoon, so you have plenty of time to go through any or all of them before the market gets back up and running on Monday morning. So that is the reports. And again, you can find them just on this drop down here at the top. As we're getting wrapped up here, a couple of other things. The Tackle Today is our daily email. If you would like the Tackle Today email, just click on Tackle Today. You can sign up for it right in here. You can also read it in here. It will be delivered to your inbox faster, but if for whatever reason you just prefer to read it directly on Tackle Trading, it will be posted in here as well, just where we can share kind of the upcoming daily schedules, whereas just some ideas each morning with the team. We are active on all of the traditional social media platforms, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, of course. Certainly invite you to join us on any of those platforms that you're already using. Just another way to connect with members of the team. Here on our YouTube channel, well, I think, personally, I think we're probably best known at this point for our live stream, because we do a lot of live content every week, whether it's the halftime report every single market day, the Wednesday night webinar, the special webinars. I think in a lot of ways, we're probably best known for our live streams here on YouTube these days. But we have a lot of other content on our YouTube channel as well, a lot of how-tos, walkthroughs, Thinkorswim tutorials, and we're always, thinking about new things that we can add to that YouTube channel. So certainly would, invite you to, do the old subscribe and notification thing. That really does help kind of get us on YouTube. So if you if you are enjoying our YouTube content, we certainly do appreciate a subscribe and the notification bell. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, I hope that gives you a better idea of, who we are, what we're doing, what our, days and our weeks look like here at Tackle Trading. We're going to keep our team really busy. There's members of our team that I see in literally everything that we do. But there's also members of the team that, they kind of have their priorities, and that's okay too, right? I always tell people you can build your own tackle trading, right? If you are primarily a cash flow trader, you're probably going to gravitate towards the cash flow club, the options report, the commodity report, right? Things that fall kind of into your wheelhouse. It doesn't mean anything else other than that, right? If you're a brand new trader, you might gravitate more towards the stock report, the technical analysis 101 course, the system development course, right? There's not a wrong way to use tackle trading. We invite you to join us in everything that we do, but we don't expect it. Just know that you're always welcome. We always appreciate you hanging around with us, and your questions are always important to us. So never feel like you can't ask them. We're more than happy to help. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll get wrapping up here this evening, but I hope that gave you a better idea of who we are. If you're a new member of Team Tackle, I welcome you. I'm great to have you here, and I look forward to getting to know you. If you are just checking us out, seeing if maybe it's a good fit, certainly appreciate your time as well, and wish you nothing the best. We do have a standing offer of a free 15-day trial that you can find in the store tab, or send Mark at team at Tackle Trading an email and tell him Frank sent you. He'll get you hooked up if you want to take a trial to see if, what the back end looks like, to see if it's a good fit. But certainly appreciate every member of the team, whether they're pro members or I just see them over on YouTube. I certainly excited to be working the markets with you. Don't forget, coming up here in about 40 minutes, you will find the Boomerang webinar right here on this channel. Probably a waiting room going on right now that you could get into if you would like to do so. Should be a lot of fun, very informative, and give you something different to think about. Some people probably are familiar with the boomerang trade, but I think a lot of people probably are not. And it really is a great cash flowing mechanism, at least a nice addition to a cash flow playbook. So I hope you enjoy that webinar. I hope to see you over there. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, I'll let you get out of here today. But as always, it is my pleasure. Appreciate everybody's time. I'll look forward to seeing you all around Tackle Trading, the shows, the YouTube channel, Discord, whatever. You can always reach out to me. You can always reach out to us. Don't be afraid to lean on your team. We all need some help sometime. We all have questions sometimes. We're all in this together, right? We all want to see each other succeed. That's a core of tackle trading, right? I can't make your trades, but I absolutely want you to succeed in the market, and anything I can do to help, I'm more than happy to do so. And I think that goes for every member of our community, the coaches and our pro members alike. So get out of here. Happy New Year to you. enjoy the Boomerang webinar here shortly, and I will look forward to seeing you around. But until then, have a wonderful night.